And then we move on to Kilkerran.
Now, have you tried this yet?
I have a bit.
Good. Thank you. And what did you think of it? Just intrigued because of your earlier comment about peat, that was all.
I liked it. I thought it was really, really nice. I mean, different again.
Yeah. So this is the newest distillery in Campbelltown. It's owned by the same family who owns Springbank, but it is very much a distinctly different distillery. The distillery is actually known as Glengyle, named after the original Glengyle distillery that was on the site. But in the interim time between when the original Glengyle was knocked down and then resurrecting the new distillery, somebody copyrighted the name Glengyle for some random blended whiskey. So they were
Loch Lomond malts.
Is that right?
Apparently it's Loch Lomond though, isn't it?
Okay, good knowledge.
Well, last thing I read.
Right.
Apparently
Good knowledge. So yeah, hence this has to be called Kilkerran of Glengyle Distillery, which does tell you on the side there. So that is it's a 12-year-old. It was a long time coming because everyone was very, very, very excited about, for the first time in however many years, a new distillery in Campbelltown being open, and it was a very happy day when
they were the ones that put out that whole series of, I can't remember, it was practice version #1 and 2.
They were called Work in Progress.
That's right.
And some of them were absolutely beautiful. Some of them weren't, as you know, as it should rightly be. They were work in progresses. The very first one, a 3-year-old, was cracking. Then the 4-year-old was awesome. Genuinely amazing whiskies, and then subsequent ones weren't quite as interesting for me. But you know, it's all personal, isn't it? But this is the finished product. This is the 12-year-old. It's a good time to be tasting these actually, because for the first time in a long time, 5 years maybe, they've just released a new product, which is called Heavily Peated. Now, what do you think of the level of peat on this one?
Well, I'm still recovering from either last month. So, to me, totally untutored. This tastes more like whiskey.
Yeah.
Then
do you want to try with a drop?
That one does.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is.
It's got a little bit more spice to it. The peat shows a little bit more obvious. Now, bearing in mind that I think most people will assume that a Campbelltown malt is peated to somewhere around about 15 parts per million. And especially on taste, it's often a surprise to people to learn that this is actually peated to 45 ppm, which is Ardbeg level. You know, it's touching Ardbeg level, and you would be right to say, really, because it doesn't taste that.
Doesn't taste
not
like
at all.
Ardbeg level at all.
No, it really doesn't. But yes, that is it. It was, I must admit, a surprise to me. The brand new heavily peated version that they just brought out is 88 ppm, which is, I think there's only one thing which is more heavily peated than that, and that is Octomore by Bruichladdich, which is very deliberately meant to be the most heavily peated whiskey in the world.
But then even when you drink Octomore, it doesn't taste as peated as some other things.
No, you do. You know, it's where it starts out at that level, and then after the malting process, when everything's finished, the mash and everything, and then finding the distillate, then you've and not least maturation, where you lose a lot of peat content, and peat character softens out as well, and it gets enhanced by other flavours.
It's like I would drink Octomore quite happily, but I wouldn't drink Big Peat, for example. Because that for me is too peaty. Although the Big Peat cask strength is nice.
Yes.
Strangely enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I wouldn't have guessed that.
No, but delicious, and again, very much, you know, maybe despite at the risk of contradicting what I said earlier, it has a Campbelltown character about it. You know, there is freshness. There is maybe a sense of maritime salinity. There's light amount. You know, the peat shows through. Slight amount of pepperiness. oily texture as well is something that's often
Yeah.
described when talking about Campbelltown whiskies. I'm not entirely convinced that that is a general characteristic of Campbelltown whiskies, because I don't think you get it on that at all. It's all about how the whiskey interacts with the cask and what kind of cask you use as to what the resulting whiskey is going to be like. And you know, these three different distilleries set themselves up to produce relatively different styles of malt in the first place.
It's nice.